pink goyard, camo bootcuts, a peak of stomach, 3 self-help books arranged like a hostage note. And somewhere in Massachusetts, a man who got cut from the Patriots in March is posting like he's about to drop a debut mixtape called Healing. Look at it again. Look at what's on the shelf. Because the second you clock what book is sitting front and center, the whole "I'm changing for her" narrative falls apart in your hands. This ain't a glow-up. This is a syllabus. And y'all are about to find out who the test is for. Real quick, before I get into the receipts, y'all know the drill. Hit that like, smash subscribe, and ring the bell, because what I'm about to walk you through has fingerprints all over it, and I want you locked in for every single one. This is Fame Cryptix. Let's eat. So here's the situation, plain as I can put it. June 8th, 2026. Stefon Diggs, 32. Released by New England back in March of this year after they cleared $16.8 million off the cap on him. Posts a 4-slide carousel to his main Instagram. Caption reads, "One day at a time, try and keep things as simple as possible." The fit is a pink goyard tote, a cropped white tee showing stomach, camo bootcut jeans. One slide is him at what looks like a craps table. And one slide, the slide, is a stack of books staged like a still life. That's the public-facing post. Now hold that in your head, because we're going to come back to those books in a minute. Let me lay the receipts down before I touch a single interpretation. According to page 6, February 9th, 2026 report, the couple, who welcomed a son in November 2025, appear to have split after they unfollowed each other on social media, in the immediate aftermath of Super Bowl 60, where, by the way, Seattle ran New England off the field 29-13. Wild. The New York Post followed up a week later. Diggs, 32, and Cardi, 33, fueled breakup rumors in the aftermath of this month's Super Bowl. They were already counted as a wrap by the timelines. Then BET drops this in the spring, sourced, attributed, careful. After public appearances, affectionate photos, and a source saying Diggs wants to make it work. Allegedly. That's the play now. The reconciliation tour. Okay. People magazine, fact-checking the family tree because somebody had to. Stefon Diggs has 3 children, including a son he welcomed with Cardi B in November 2025. The baby, reportedly named Baby Brim, per Revolt, was born November 4th, 2025. Cardi's 4th. Stefon's 3rd confirmed, though the internet has done its own math on that number for a while. And then, this one's the kicker, Diggs' own burner, his Finsta, posts a line that's been clipped and recirculated everywhere. "I am the type to know something bothers you and intentionally try to make it worse." Followed by laughing emojis. I'ma just let that sit. Now connect it. March 2025. Diggs signs a 3-year, $63.5 million deal with the Patriots, $22.6 million guaranteed, coming off a torn ACL. June 1st, 2025, the hard launch. Knicks game, courtside, hand on the lower back, the whole production. September 17th, 2025. Cardi sits down with Gayle King on CBS Mornings and announces she's pregnant with Stefon's child. The world finds out at the same time as Twitter. November 4th, 2025, baby boy arrives. Brim. February 8th, 2026, Super Bowl 60. Patriots get cooked. Within hours, Cardi and Stefon unfollow each other. March 12th, 2026, Patriots release him. Cap casualty. Suddenly, he's not the $20 million wideout. He's an unemployed 32-year-old with a torn ACL on his medical history and 6 confirmed and disputed baby mamas across 3 time zones. Actually, hold on, back up. That part is the part. Because watch the sequence. The minute the football money walks out the door, the wants to make it work leaks start. The affectionate spottings. The PDA reposts. The Grace Tour. And now we land on June 8th, 2026. Pride Month. He posts the books. You see the shape of it? I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you to look at the calendar. Let me zoom in. Not the whole post. One slide. The bookshelf. I had to read this 3 times. Front and center. Propped where the eye lands first. The 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. Behind it, Mitch Albom's Tuesdays with Maury. Stacked nearby, Emotional Intelligence 2.0 by Travis Bradberry. Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. The Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu tucked in the corner. I want you to picture the kind of person who poses for an Instagram photo with the 33 strategies of war facing the camera. As an I'm healing post. To a woman they reportedly want back. You don't accidentally have Robert Greene front-facing in a glow-up flick. Robert Greene's whole catalog, 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction, Mastery, 33 Strategies, is required reading on every How to Manipulate People TikTok account on this app. That is not subtext. That is text. Pair it with Emotional Intelligence 2.0, which on its surface is a Tony Robbins-adjacent self-help paperback about reading rooms, and in practice, in the wrong hands, becomes a manual for what therapists call cognitive empathy without effective empathy. Translation. You learn what someone's feeling, so you can use it, not so you can hold it. Now add the sentimentality layer. Tuesdays with Maury. The Book of Joy. Tearjerker, Life and Death Wisdom, Dalai Lama. Soft. Warm. The kind of book you quote in a long apology text at 2 a.m. And then Good Vibes, Good Life. The Instagram Self-Love Bible. I've changed. I'm at peace now. You can practically hear the caption writing itself. A war manual. A people reading manual. 2 hard-tug pieces. A glow-up cherry on top. That isn't a bookshelf. That's a deck. Now slide 3. Him at a craps table. Trying to keep things as simple as possible. My brother, you're posting yourself gambling. Read the room. And the Finsta. I keep coming back to it because it's the smoking gun the main grid is trying to launder. I am the type to know something bothers you and intentionally try to make it worse. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. He posted the manipulation playbook on the main, and then winked at the camera on the side. That's not a man healing. That's a man telling on himself in 2 different fonts. Now here's where it gets fun, because watch how the outlets frame this. Page 6, New York Post. Straight tabloid news pose. Couple split. Unfollows happened. Source close to Diggs says he wants to make it work. Flat source neutral. They're not reading the books. They're just reporting that the books exist. Then you got BET, which frames the whole thing as redemption arc. The headline literally reads, apparently, Stefon Diggs wants Cardi B back. That word, apparently, doing about 9 pounds of work. Sympathetic spin. Leaning toward give him a chance. Yahoo Sports went a different direction. Stefon Diggs gets cryptic on Instagram as Cardi B breakup buzz swirls. Notice the word cryptic. Not manipulative. Not calculated. Cryptic, like he's a mysterious poet. Not a man with a war strategy book on his nightstand. And then Billboard and Parade run sweet relationship timeline pieces that read like wedding magazine spreads. From their 2025 hard launch to the arrival of Baby Touchdown, bro. They named the baby Brim. Where's Touchdown coming from? That's a press release in a trench coat. Now somebody in the comments is already typing. Y'all reading way too much into a photo of some books. The man's just trying to better himself. Leave him alone. And honestly, on paper, I get it. Self-help books are self-help books. Most people who own Emotional Intelligence 2.0 aren't running emotional ops on rappers. Fair. But let me push back. Real talk. If your only book on display was Emotional Intelligence 2.0, I'd buy the bit. If it was the Dalai Lama joint by itself, I'd say bro is going through it and finding peace. The problem is the combination. The problem is the curation. The problem is 33 strategies of war sitting on the front line of a soft launch carousel during Pride Month with a Finsta on the side that says I make things worse on purpose. That ain't a vibe. That's a confession in 5 hardcovers. Here's what nobody's saying out loud. Mainstream read goes like this. Athlete loses Super Bowl, gets cut, panics, tries to win girl back. Sad boy with books energy. Cardi's a soft heart. She might bite, we'll see. But spin the lens half a turn. This isn't reconciliation. This is brand triage. Stefon Diggs in March 2026 is in a very specific kind of trouble. He's 32. He's coming off a torn ACL and a Patriots release. The next contract is not the $63.5 million one. It's a 1-year prove-it deal, if it comes at all, with a base salary that would barely cover one of the 6 households the internet says he funds. What's the one asset he still owns outright? Proximity to Cardi B, a woman with a $130 million net worth, 3 Grammy-nominated eras, a Walmart endorsement, and, most importantly, a child with him. Stay with me. The post on June 8th isn't aimed at Cardi. Cardi already knows what he's like. She lived through Super Bowl Sunday. The post is aimed at the public's perception of Cardi's choice. It's pre-laundering, because if the reconciliation reads as he did the work, he read the books, he's at peace now, then her taking him back doesn't cost her any cultural capital. It becomes a redemption story. It becomes content. The books are props in her PR play, not his. And the Finsta. The Finsta is the tell. Because nobody who has actually done the work brags about being a deliberate antagonist 12 hours after posting Tuesdays with Maury. That's a man who can't help himself. That's a man whose ego is louder than his strategy. He built the deck. Then he showed the camera his cards because being seen as the smartest one in the room matters more than winning the hand. The opposition's gonna say you're projecting. Cool. Show me the post where he's holding attached by Amir Levine. Show me Hold Me Tight by Sue Johnson. Show me a single book about, actually being a partner instead of a single book about outmaneuvering people. I'll wait. Wait's gonna be long. The most generous read of this post is that he's confused. The least generous read is that he's running a subtweet through a coffee table. Pick your poison. Either way, those books didn't get there by accident. Bookshelves like that get built. Here's where I think this lands. The next 90 days are going to look like a reconciliation. Watch how it unfolds, a courtside spotting, a happens to be at the same restaurant Pap walk, a soft IG comment from Cardi under a baby picture. The choreography is already on the storyboard. By the time training camp rumors start floating around any potential NFL team that'll have him, the public narrative needs to be Family Man again, because Family Man is more signalable than 6 baby moms and a Finsta villain. Don't be shocked when somebody on his team, agent publicist, the cousin who runs his social, quietly seeds a "they're working on it" story to a friendly outlet. Probably BET adjacent. Probably anonymous source. Probably out by August. Now flip the table. The path that scrambles all of this is Cardi herself. Because Cardi has been showing us, song by song, that she's been writing her way out. The next album, and y'all heard the snippets, is loaded with men ain't shit ammunition. Once that record drops and the radio singles start landing, the calendar collision becomes a problem. You can't run a reconciliation tour while the woman is on Hot 97 making jokes about your Finsta. The promo cycle eats the rom-com alive. By the time those singles hit, expect the unfollows to come back, louder this time, and with a track list to match. And 5 years out, the cultural residue is the part that actually matters. This whole arc, the football star, the rap queen, the pink goyard, the war books, the Finsta confession, is gonna live in the breakup content canon next to the Offset chapters. Some PhD student in 2031 is gonna write a paper about parasocial relationship management in the algorithmic era, and Diggs' June 8th carousel is gonna be in the footnotes. Because what we're watching, in real time, isn't a relationship. It's a case study in how a man with declining market value attaches himself to a woman with rising market value and uses self-help iconography to launder the optics. Cardi walks away from this stronger. She always does. Stefon's gonna be a whatever happened to by 2029 unless somebody on a roster decides his hands still work. The football clock is loud. But the bookshelf is forever. Screenshots don't get cut from the Patriots. That's the read. That's what I see when I look at that carousel. Y'all hit me in the comments. Tell me if I'm reaching. Tell me if I'm dead on. Tell me which book on that shelf would have gotten you to believe the bit. Smash that like, subscribe, ring the bell, because the second Cardi posts a response, and she will, we're back in this same room breaking it down frame by frame. Appreciate y'all riding to the end.